Hello, ladies and gentlemen of the Buddy Fight world. It is I, Darkness Zero, here once again. I'm doing something interesting today. To continue on the trending of post Unleash Impact Dragons, we'll be doing a discussion of a comparison of our three main dragons competing on which one is the best right now. We have Abigail versus Jack versus Ball. I will be comparing their monsters with their impacts forms. I will be doing their rare, rare one, triple rare one, and trial deck one, and then the promo one if they all have one. So let's get down to this. Oh, and then their just cite their basic counterpart. So the basic one for Abigail is Black Death Dragon Abigail. He is a 6/2/1 size 1 monster for 1 gauge with the act ability of you can discard card from your hand, and if you do, you destroy a monster on your opponent controls, and if you destroy that monster, they have to mill the top cards of their deck equal to its size. So what makes this fan effective is that this is a Demon Lord Asmodai that isn't once per turn. That's an act instead of having it to be enter on the field. And it having 2 crit with 6,000 power. So this card, the rare Abigail is probably the best, like, base form of the 3, I would say. Because of it being a size 1, so it can assimilate on a majority of your fields compared to the size 2 counterparts of Jack and Ball. And it mills them, so it sets up their drop for your card effects. And a lot of other Faint's Black Dragons love to do with this card. Okay. Okay, getting to Jackknife now. We have Star Dragoneer Jack. Star Dragoneer Jack is a 5/3/5, size 2 for 1 gauge. So that when he enters the field, you look at your top 3 cards, you can put one of them into a soul, and the other 2 will go into your drop zone. This card is pretty much a Greason as a size 2 without double attack and 2 less gauge. This card is an efficient way of gaining Dragon Arms, being able to set drop for other card effects, and being a Soul Guard having 3 crit. This card is just a very good toolbox card that assists with everything. Okay. Then we have over here for Ball, we have Dragon of the Sun Ball Dragon. Dragon of the Sun Ball Dragon is a size 2 5/2/3 size 2 for 1 gauge, and when he attacks, he gains 5k power, becoming a 10/2/3 and penetrate. So this card's good at what doing Sun Dragons like doing, and that's killing walls. He has the biggest weakness out of the 3, I would say, for being able to get. He has a weakness compared to Jack and Abigail is that him getting counter by like a Death Grip by hitting crossbow is so much more painful being it than the other 2. But he's good at wall breaking. He's very simple, basic, that and allowing you to go for high damage outputs. Okay, we go back to Abigail. Over here we have the trial deck one, which is Abigail Lost Horizon. Abigail Lost Horizon is a 7/3/6 size 3. For 2 gauge, and you destroy one of your black dragons. When it enters the field, you destroy a card on your opponent's field. This card's an efficient toolbox card that lets you pretty much systematically eliminate any card you want, and it being a good wall in the center. The weakness with Abigail, though, compared to Ball and Jack, though, for most of the time, is that all of Abigail's impact forms are size 3s, and in most of your Black Dragon decks, you want 2s and 1s, so when it comes to the Abigail forms, they have to be really efficient because you're losing more than a card compared to the Jack and Ball. You're having to, most of the time, lose your whole field to call over it to get an Abigail on board. Then For Jack, we have Jackknife Dragoneer Wall. Jackknife Dragoneer Wall is a size 2, 636. That it just 2 gauge and you put him on top of any of your monsters, and he has Soul Guard. Very good transitional card for being able to continue your stack of Soul Guard. And then he's a size 2, so he can wall effectively. Sorry, Yon Saron is hitting me hard today. But yeah, this card just is really good at just destroying walls. Well, being a wall. Okay, then for Ball we have Ball Dragon, Ball Grand Strike. 735 size 2, 2 gauge, and you put a Sun Dragon from your field into the gauge, so it's only pretty much 1 gauge and having to kill off a monster, and has Penetrate. A really efficient offensive card for being cheap and being a 3 to 4 crit penetrator. Efficient damage, I would say. Then we have for now for rares we have Abigail Jet Black Storm, 727 size 3 for 2 gauge, and you destroy a black dragon. And when he enters field, he destroys all size 1 or less monsters and items. Really good anti-rush aggro card. Unlike Lost Horizon, it's a lot more removal for 1 less crit and 1 more K defense, but effective, really effective card. Then here for Jackknife, we have Jackknife Astro Gardener, which is a 525 size 2. For 2 gauge, and he put himself on top of a Neo Dragon instead of just a monster like Dragoneer Wall. And when he enters the field, you look at your top 5, you put one of them into his soul, and the other 4 go into the drop. So this card, again, same with Dragoneer Jack. Good at just having things set up and being... this card's defensive, and this I would equal to Dragoneer Wall because you lose stats, but you gain an additional soul compared to Dragoneer Wall. But I really like Astro Gardener. Then for Ball we have All Out Ball Aura. Size 2, 635, 2 gauge, and you sack off a Sun Dragon. When it enters field, you either destroy your opponent's center, or if your opponent doesn't have a monster in his center, they lose a gauge and you deal 1 damage. It's an okay thing. There's not really a point to play this card because of just a drop off in stats compared and to like Ball Grand Strike and not having Penetrate. It's just, I don't think it's that efficient. Okay, now for the triple rare one, we have Abigail Vanishing Death Hole, 838, size 3, 3 gauge, and you destroy a black dragon. When it enters field, it nukes all other monsters. If you have 6 or more drop, it's 6 crit, and if there's 12 or more, this card attack cannot be nullified. It's on paper, this card's really good because it's 6 unknowable damage. It nukes a field. But the problem here is, again, with the Abigails and Black Dragons, it's a size 3, so you're killing your pretty much the problem with this is that this is 3 gauge, and an unnullable attack isn't good enough because of cards such as Scapegoat, Black Dragon Shield, which will be most of the meta. So in the mirror, this card doesn't do anything besides like having you pay 3 gauge. Every deck can play Crimson Drum to just redirect attack himself, so it reduces damage from 6 to 1. It's not an efficient card. Then for Jack, we have Jackknife Full Liberate Cannon. 6/2/6 size 2, 3 gauge, and you sack put on top of Neo Dragon. At the end of your turn, you may put up, and then you also grab a card from your drop zone and put into its soul. At the end of its attack, you put up to 3 of your Dragon Arms from this card's soul into your drop zone, and you burn them equal to the amount of cards put into the drop zone. This card's a really good just burn finisher, because this is potentially 5 to 6 damage if you have Twin Fate Jack and Star. Just a really efficient endgamer in my opinion, because you're not losing any resources while doing a really good amount of burn damage, and having the distinctive advantage of being a Jack, so it can always just move to the center quickly. And then for Ball, we have Ball Grand Strike. So 2 gate, no, sorry, not Grand Strike. Ball Burst Smasher. Yeah. So 3 gauge, and you put on top of a Sun Dragon. And if it attacks by itself, it can't be nulled and has Soul Guard. This card's, I would say, still a little bit better than Vanishing Deathhold, because it's only 3 gauge and you're not having to like sack a field, and it's size 2. So you're, again, not having to force to call over. But still kind of the same problems as Abigail did, is the fact that it can't be, the attack can't be nullified, just isn't efficient anymore because of generic cards such as Crimson Drum, a couple damage control, Scapegoat, Black Dragon Shield, Chillax. But what also has this over advantage for Abigail is that it being Dragon World, you have a lot more ways to kind of turbo this out. So unlike Abigail Vanishing Deathhold, which will be a 1 attack that will just always miss 8% of the time, Ball Burst Smasher has the advantage of being recycled a whole bunch of times, so you can play like 3+ Grand Strikes in the game potentially, and have multiple attempts to get that 4 to 5 damage unnullable attack off. But yeah, that's it. I would